This is what we have after 3 coats of tru-oil. Now it's time to sand it to make it smooth, because in between coats you need to sand off the rough stuff. This is it's what I have. It's 600. You can get away with 320. Something lightweight, and it's just about taking the roughness out. Some people will actually use steel wool. Actually, I think that's what the instructions say to use for tru-oil. I'm just trying to take any of the glossy marks off. And feel around and make sure everything is smooth. Make sure it's smooth. I like to take a damp cloth, usually a paper towel that's slightly damp, and just wipe it down. Even a nice dry clean cloth will do the trick and get all the dust off. If you're going to use steel wool, you really want to pay attention to make sure there's no fibers from the steel wool. I just have a damp paper towel, and it's not really even pulling off much, which is a good sign. Because the heel is a darker wood, and you play up along here, and you can see where the joint was where they put the head. I think I'm going to continue to do coats along the heel. I think I'll leave here and then up on the headstock just to darken the headstock, because I'm actually very happy with where this is right now. It's smooth, fast, everything you want in a guitar neck. Rounding over the fretboard and all the frets the other day feel very good. Nothing's catching. Even when I run the paper towel on it, it doesn't really cut it. And it's a paper towel. All right, let's get the body, and we'll go from there. This is the body after 3 coats. It's actually looking good, and it's got, well, it's shiny in areas where the coarser wood is. It's going to take a while to build up coats in order to make it shiny. I'm not going to go for a straight gloss. That'll take tons of coats. And you can see the body came out very nice. 3 coats, I can pretty much let it go. I don't know if the camera's showing up, but there's a scratch coming here. That was actually part of the wood when it came out of the kit. Because the back is like a plywood, you can't go crazy sanding it down. You can go through the top, I don't know, veneer, whatever it's called. The top is, I'm pretty sure, mahogany, solid mahogany, which is nice. I can sand all I want and not worry too much. So, same thing. I'm just going to take my 600 paper and take all the gloss and stickiness off. In between coats doing this will make for a smoother nicer finish. Okay, I made this little dabber or dauber, I don't know what they're called. It's just a small square cut of rag with a little tiny rag on the inside, and I can apply tru-oil with it. I have been just using a regular rag with my hands, but the tru-oil does make a little bit of a mess on your hands. So the idea is I have something to put my fingers on. So I'm just going to do the headstock area. If it And I'm just going to do the heel. The body, it all depends on how you hold it, because you're bound to get some on your hands. I think I'll do the front and sides first, and I'll leave this part for very last, this way I can have my hands in here. If you hold your, whatever my painting thing is, I can just get a little on it like that and not get it all over the place. I've been lucky so far. Look around at different angles, make sure you get all or any runs taken care of. If you put it on thin, you have less run issues, but you also have more coats to do for the shine you want. You could totally put it on thick, but you'll be sanding a lot more. So I'm finally to the point where I'm happy with the finish. And I got the back looking really nice. And now it's time to pull the tape off and check how things are fitting. I am going to put some tape around the neck area for glue squeeze out so I can get a nice clean and area, and I don't have to worry about hurting the finish. And if the tape dulls the finish out, that's okay, because when we're done, I still have to do some, I know I'll have to do some polishing and cleaning around where the glue spots are. There we go. Gotta make sure it doesn't go underneath it, or I will have a hard time cleaning that up. All right, time to find some glue. And glue brush is falling apart. Make sure you get some in the peg hole. I guess it really doesn't matter since there's glue on the other side. I just have to pull this really tight. Okay. Okay. It's tight. Actually, that's looking pretty good. I wish I had like a big clamp. But I'm going to pull this and clamp here, get another rubber band on the back and see how tight we can get it. Alright, I'm getting good glue squeeze out. Loosen that up a little bit. Pull it in with my hands. There we go. And you can see where all the, hopefully it's showing up, all the glue's coming through. Now hopefully I can get a little more pressure here. Use the neck as some leverage to pry it down. Got some good squeeze out on this side. Neck looks pretty straight. Pull this over to here. Try to, there we go. Yes, it's this side. Okay, so we'll go. Thinking that's going to look pretty good. Okay, I'm going to use the corner of this and try to clean up the glue. I think that's about as tight as I'm going to be able to get it. So okay. Okay. Looking pretty, it's looking pretty good. I thought for sure I was going to have to sand and scrape more. And when I take this off, I made this spot just a hair smaller. So the bridge actually sits just a hair wider than it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape across, or I'm going to tape it off. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of room because I'm going to take a razor blade and clean the edges. And this way I know I get good glue joint at the edges too. Because the actual finish, it does raise it up. You can actually feel it. I wouldn't call it quite paper thickness, but pretty close to the thickness of the tape, so I guess it is paper thickness. And before I glue it, I can take a straight edge. I could do also measure from the center pencil mark, which I can kind of still see there. Yep, I can check that way too. But the rubber bands are in the way. So we will take those off and we will make sure that I have it centered where I want it. Alright, I got my big awkward straight edge. Oh yeah, that's ends up right on each edge. Hopefully the camera picks that up, which it doesn't. Razor knife and just scrape the edges off of the finish without going into the tape. And I'm not really going to hit the edges because I don't want that to show. go. Found this nice flat piece of steel. It's actually a bicycle tool for bending chain rings. And let's just dry fit. Let's just dry clamp it and see how it's going to work. There you go. Okay, I'll have to work on making sure that it's flush. Definitely want a good even coating here because there's a lot of tension on the bridge here. Both sides are glued. Lining them up with my pencil mark. I'm going to do a little bit of a cheater trick. I'm going to try to there we go. There you go. Now we wait. I pull off the tape, clean around the edges, and it's all about waiting at this point.